to the New Dad Order podcast. On this episode, Ray and I dive into the Charlie Kirk murder that happened. Charlie Kirk, polarizing figure for the conservatives and would visit college campuses. And I'm sure by now everyone, if you're on social media, is fully aware of the events that took place and the tragic and senseless loss of his life. We talk about his presence on the internet, his start, our opinions of him, dive into some topics that created a lot of polarizing conversations around Charlie Kirk. But a little different feel for this episode, but nonetheless, Ray and I talk through it, and I'll find out that we're both pretty moderate whenever it comes to things as far as listening to both sides. We hope you enjoy what you're seeing and the content that Ray and I are providing. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop us a comment below. Also, check us out on Spotify as well. Now, let's go.
Welcome to the New Dad Order podcast. My name is Ray. We got Parfait over there.
How's it going, everybody? Ray, how are you doing?
I'm good today, man. Good. It was a funky day, but it's a good day.
All right, always a good day. Always the eternal optimist that Ray is for the most part. Way more than me.
I will say. I know we don't like talking about the weather, but at least in the morning it's cooler.
Because it is a little bit. It's a good day, but it's a weird day, right? Because as we're recording this, it was a day that polarizing figure in social media really was murdered, like in front of a crowd, and the video posted all over TikTok, and that was Charlie Kirk. And so political activists, I'm sure most people are familiar with him. And if you're not familiar with him, you've definitely seen everything about him as of September 10th, you know, if you're on any type of social media. Mm-hmm. But so what, just right off, what was your first impression whenever you heard it? Were you familiar with him prior to all this?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Were you a follower of his on social media or anything?
No, not a follower. But if I saw something he was talking to, because he was one of those guys that goes in debates, so I would listen to some of his debates.
Yeah, I think that term debate is. I don't think he debated anybody. No. You felt that he had a debate for him?
It was more of him being there on the campus, letting people that didn't agree with his thoughts or his political views come up and then say disagreed with a particular issue, be it abortion.
Mainly, well, not mainly, but people who disagree with, for the most part, conservative values.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Or I say values, that's a term that's used loosely because, but yeah.
Or viewpoints.
Ideologies.
Ideology, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so, did you find yourself agreeing with him more than disagreeing with him?
Yes.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
With what I've heard. With
yes. What you've heard.
Yes.
And there's this overwhelming, in my feed, right? And living in South Louisiana, where it is a large conservative base.
Red.
Yeah. I mean, and a lot of Trump flags and stickers on vehicles in the area, and people cheering for human beings like we're on a team rather than really doing anything to make the world a better place, in my opinion.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on him?
I didn't like him.
You didn't like him?
No, I thought I know he was very, very young whenever he got into the political scene. He was like 18 years old and like going on Fox News and having conversations about.
That long ago? 18?
Yeah, he was like 18 years old. And that's whenever
I thought it was 20 something.
It was he was young. Like his first appearance big was like whenever he was like 18 years old. Mm-hmm. And it kind of snowballed from there. And then he continued to go on there. Like he doesn't, and it doesn't make him less qualified to speak on anything, but like he doesn't have like a journalistic, he doesn't have any degree, but he doesn't have like an area of expertise in like journalism or expertise in political. It's all, self-taught and learned, which is plenty good enough. It doesn't make him any less qualified to speak about a topic because he didn't go to school and get formal education based in politics. Because what the hell does that really mean anyways when we talk about politics that change on a daily basis?
I think he's spoken to that too, that he is not
Oh yeah,
educated.
yeah. He was not,
or college educated.
he wasn't, college educated in the traditional sense of it, which I think nowadays people have fully understood that means absolutely nothing whenever it comes to speaking things, especially from a social perspective. The more you're involved in a social atmosphere, you're going to have more opinions that change, and that's going to serve you a lot better to be exposed to things rather than just read stuff in a textbook. And that was actually something that he did that he was actually opposed to, was the liberalism in textbooks. Like, I know that was like a big platform because, and it makes sense. Like, stuff like that makes sense to me because you're writing a textbook that goes to publication and then sold and then taught. But whenever we say that the world changes on a daily basis, but yet we're going to teach things out of a textbook that was written 3 years ago, 5 years ago.
Mhm.
I mean, outside of history or mathematics and things of a certain thing, certain topic, things are ever evolving, especially whenever you start talking about a political landscape. If you're going to study political science in college, I mean, the history of it remains the same, but even history books are written weird. I have a friend of mine who grew up in Moldova, right? So Moldova, part of the Soviet Union, small country, relatively poor. I mean, not, to the point of not like third world poor, but, not one of these powerhouse countries that came out of the Soviet. And the way American history and world history was taught to us is that we won World War II. Forever, that was my head. I'm like, no, the United States came in there and,
we won.
We laid the smack down and
we got called out the
bullpen.
The bullpen.
Yeah.
DH. Let's go.
No, the DH.
I have no idea. Yeah.
Not a baseball guy.
Yeah, I'm
not a baseball guy.
I messed that up.
But yeah, so that was the way it was taught to us, right? And then you realize that no. The only reason why the United States got involved in the whole World War II is because we got bombed.
Mhm.
Other than that, we were just that's y'all thing. Y'all handle that on the other side of the Atlantic.
That's correct.
But the Russians, her world history, whenever she was taught, is that the reason why World War II ended is because, the Russians defeated the Germans.
I think that's exactly.
Which is
correct.
what it is.
Yeah.
But that is not the way that it was. It was basically we dropped some bombs on Japan,
We
game
blew 'em
over.
up. Yep, atomic bombs.
And that's it.
Mhm.
And the United States won the war. And it's no, Hitler got really aggressive, tried to go through the
Too
snow
aggressive.
on the backside.
Yeah.
And he paid the price for, and the Russians said, yep. And they put an end to it.
And he didn't realize that the Russians, there's a lot of Russians.
There's a lot of Russians.
There's a lot of Russians.
All of that just to say that the way we are taught things is not always the way that it appears. And much like, to me, what Charlie Kirk started out as of political activism, introducing a conservative group as on a college campus, which is not usually well received. As even in the South, where you have a lot of liberal ideologies that are preached on a college campus.
It all depends on what university you go to. If you go to Texas, University of Texas, you're going to get that.
Yeah.
But if you go to a TCU,
Texas Christian University, yeah,
or a Baylor,
Baptist University, so
not so much. So I don't think he went to those types of universities.
No, he didn't.
I think he hit all those, a lot of West Coast universities.
Yeah, and the Northeast, the Atlantic
Northeast,
Coast
yep.
area.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And my biggest thing with him was that he went from the essence of what he was trying to do to provide students who didn't always see the strong liberal teachings on a college campus a voice, because you need numbers, or else if you don't have numbers, then you're automatically just pushed away and you have no clout and you don't have a voice. So you have to have numbers. You have to have a system for people to be able to speak their mind. And the conservative views on a college campus typically aren't received, in most college settings. And I'm like, that's great. That's what it should have, because if it was reversed, it's no different than the civil rights movement, where, black students, along with white students who had the inlet to have a voice and then pair up, and the civil rights movement started on college campuses, and that was a voice. You needed numbers to create a stronger voice.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was the essence of the start. And then all it became to me was he was a guy that just on social media that just posted clips of arguing with people. And I didn't find his arguments, his debates, whatever you want to call it, I didn't find them making me smarter by listening to. You hear it, and he was a very good speaker. He knew what he was talking about. The statistics that he gave, he knew his numbers, he knew where he was going, he knew all of his talking points. And he was very articulate. And he would keep composure whenever the other side got really irate. And he did his best to keep composure, which is usually the key to a good debater, to keep your emotions in check. Mm-hmm. And he made those liberal students look like morons. So now it goes from being this guy who set out to do something to just being this dude who became a TikTok guy, a real guy, a YouTube guy, where people just shared what he was saying because he made people look foolish from the standpoint of the way people were consuming. Like he was just feeding to a base. It was completely an echo chamber.
Oh,
and that's the way that...
Like he basically reciprocated what the liberals were doing for so many years. He became that, but for conservatism.
To an extent. Like to me, he became just something that people could share to show look how dumb that liberal is. Like he wasn't debating a highly educated person on the topic that he was talking about. He was debating someone that was speaking from pure emotion, and he could just drill them through and make them look really dumb.
But isn't that what a debate is, though?
No.
No?
It's not. I mean,
to win or no? Or is it just to get your points out there?
But like, to me, he wasn't winning, right?
Okay. Like
he wasn't winning. The goal wasn't to win the debate. The goal was to make a clip that somebody could share on social media.
I see what you're saying.
That's what I saw him as. I did not see him as someone that was trying to better the world through the clips that were posted on social media. Now, his overall intent, I think, started from a place where he was trying to better the world. He just had a different opinion than the other side, which is what makes the world go round type thing. It's perfectly fine. Agree with him, even if I agreed with every single thing that he ever said. Okay, if I agreed, I'm like, he is absolutely right. He is absolutely right. Man, this dude is just speaking the truth. The way he was doing it doesn't make me respect his opinion more because he's throwing numbers at this highly emotional college student that he's obviously smarter than, and he knows exactly how to direct them into, like, he knows how to put them in a corner. And whenever you get back to the corner, you got two options, and it's crawl into a ball. Mm-hmm. Or come out swinging with anything you have. Mm-hmm. And these college kids would come out swinging with anything they had, and he'd just make them look foolish. And then it was click share on social media.
All right. When I watched some of the stuff that he put up there, he's like, I'll be here for the next 2 hours. Mm-hmm. Debate me on any topic that you want to. Bring 4 or 5 friends. Bring your professors. You have a phone. I have nothing with me. I have a couple of charts that I want to show you. That I can show you, but I have nothing with me. All I have is what I have up here. Just bring whatever topic. You bring it. If you don't agree with me on that side, if you do agree with me, you're on this side, right? So I want people that don't agree with me. And he gave them those options. Bring as many people so you can talk amongst each other and debate what I have to say to you about whatever premise that you have for me. And they wouldn't do it.
No.
So that's on them.
I agree.
So why would you put that on him, belittling them? Because that's what it is, basically. Because I've seen,
I mean, that's what it is. There's no other way
especially when the person is like, "Well, let me get my point." Go ahead. He lets them get their points out,
and they would speak in circles and say nothing.
Circles. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes, like what I do on this thing, they would speak in circles, and then he would basically go, "Well, I don't agree with your premise," and they didn't understand what that word was.
Yeah,
what that meant. There were a lot of things that I was 50-50 with him. Mm. But then he started talking more to Christ. He started talking more to Jesus and being saved and what Jesus was to him. So I don't know if that was a more recent thing for him, because for a while, I want to say he's been around, you said, since he's 18 years old?
Yeah, he was only like 31, 32 years old.
He was 31 years old.
31.
Here's the thing. I thought for a minute in the beginning, he was a plant.
Yeah, it
He was
almost
an
looked at like
industry plant.
scripted stuff.
Yeah. I thought he was, and the people he was talking to, setups.
Yeah, it
And
definitely.
that's what sometimes it feels like, what you're saying.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like that because these people are like, where are you getting these people from?
And I get like, and to me, I guess it wasn't amusing to me. And here's another thing where obviously, man, and I know that like I opened up Facebook and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know this many people, like the T's and P's for Charlie Kirk was just driving, like, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm like that many people were that emotionally invested. Like, yeah, it was sad and tragic, but I mean, the thoughts and prayers for someone you don't know. I don't know. I've never got a thoughts and prayers post in my life.
Dude got shot in the neck.
Yeah. I mean,
it was so graphic.
Yeah, it looked fake.
It looked so fake. It looked like blood bag blew up right here.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like, but it was not.
No, it looked like it was a Hollywood scene where the guy gets shot in the neck and yeah. Real quick before we get started, guys, Thursday. Thursday is the thing that I have relied on over the last 8 months to get me back into recovery and get a good night's sleep. It doesn't have melatonin. It has everything your body needs to get back to recovery, to get a good workout in. Use the promo code NDOZZZ to get a discounted checkout. Whenever you see it, he's a polarizing figure. That's obvious. And he's polarizing because he is a strong voice on the right, which means that the strong voices on the left are going to oppose him. What you said whenever I first got introduced seeing him on the internet in a video, it was, hey, if you agree with me over here, if you don't over there, bring who you want. And I'm like, that's exactly what the main objective was still divide. Mm-hmm. Because in the end, he was a content creator, is what he evolved into. Now, I think his organizations that he started and trying to get a conservative voice on college campuses, textbook initiative, those were changes that he was trying to make. But ultimately, everything resorts back to social media and what moves the needle. And when you can provoke emotion, that moves the needle the most. And he was able to provoke emotion by firmly defining one side and the other. That does not bring people together. And I know he would show statistics and then he was automatically called a racist. And then it's like, well, he would talk about crime in the black community.
And using empirical data.
And using the data. Mm-hmm. And here it is. And that's what it is. And people would try to bring up systemic racism, white privilege, whatever metric it was. And he was like, you can call it what you want, but the statistic is this. And it's like, yes, you can't argue with the statistic if he is correct, assuming he is, like, you can't argue with that. But I think the racist thing comes from not necessarily Charlie Kirk, right? Like, I don't know the guy. I don't know him well enough to pinpoint him as a racist or not. I think that racist people clip certain parts of what he's talking about to show that I'm not a racist. That's just the statistic. I'm not a racist. And I think it gets very convenient. And I think and in fact, he had some controversy with him because people involved in his organization were trading emails or text messages or something, and there was racial slurs used. Now, he went ahead and he got rid of those people out of his organization. But I think that when you speak in an echo chamber and you play to people's emotions, the people who are going to want to come to bat for you are going to have very strong emotions and not be center of the road.
Right.
And what comes along with people with very strong emotions is you don't know how far, or you don't know what they're most emotional about. And if a race topic is the thing that they're most emotional about, well, then you're going to get some truths that you may not want to be a part of from their perspective. Mm-hmm. And it's not a truth. It's just the truth in their head. Mm-hmm. And that happens a lot. I think people share those posts or share those clips from Charlie Kirk under the veil of he's just telling it like it is, but yet it provides their narrative for their closeted racism because they're not saying it. He's just putting out the data. And I think there's a lot of closeted racists out there that would share his stuff.
there weren't specific items that you didn't agree with. It was just the way he did what he did is what you did not agree with.
I thought he argued with low-hanging fruit. He argued with people that he knew had no shot against him. And I'm not saying that he couldn't debate someone who was extremely highly educated and he wouldn't win that debate. Probably would. Maybe not. Maybe it would just be a, wow, that was a really good debate. These clips that we see on the internet of Charlie Kirk and what he's done at these college campuses was never, wow, that was a really good conversation. The only ones that get shared are the, wow, look how he made that liberal kid look like an ass. Look how he made this LGBTQ person look like an idiot because they couldn't give a definition of gender.
Yeah, so they were picking and choosing, right?
And it's just like when you slice things up, you can really make some creative edits to prove whatever point you want to prove. And I think that that's what his debates got used for on the internet. Whether or not he did it personally or not does not matter. Because if he was on a college campus and recorded audio, video for 3 hours, you were only going to get 4 minutes of it. And it was going to be the 4 minutes that made me feel good about sharing what I shared with that person.
So I decided to watch. He had a full episode on campus. I think it was uploaded 8 days ago.
Okay, so very recent.
Yeah, hour and 15 minutes, hour and 13 minutes worth of
and you watched it?
A video. I watched most of it. But when he started, he said, we're going to be here for 2 to 3 hours today. So that takes... There's a lot of credits in what you're saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're also like,
stuff.
I think from that standpoint, though, you are waiting for people to actually get there and come and speak, and so there's a little pop of circumstance whenever he's, whenever he's on
the first one he went against was another guy. He said, "I'm a small YouTuber, not as big as you, but I'm a political, not analyst or some political something. I want to put my name out there, yada yada yada. I agree with you on this. Here's what I don't agree with you on." And he just ripped him up. He ripped that guy up.
So Charlie Kirk did that to the other guy?
To the other guy. Charlie Kirk did it to this guy who said he's got a YouTube channel. And but the guy didn't come with his I's dotted and his T's crossed. Not at all.
Yeah.
Why put yourself out there like that and then get obliterated?
Yeah, knowing that this is what this is what he does.
Exactly. And the thing you just said, he started the guy that was bringing it to him was getting really emotional, and Charlie just sitting there.
Yes,
it's like that's not what the data shows. Yeah. Just simple statements like that. You can see the guy just getting more and more fired up.
Yeah, they had a college professor once that actually did come there, and the same thing. The college professor wasn't used to anybody opposing his opinions, and he made him look foolish. And like, I don't have a problem with that. Like, I don't agree with him politically or don't agree with him politically. When you're stating facts and you're arguing with someone who is stating their feeling, it doesn't show well for the person who's just giving their feelings. And the statistics are what they are. Assuming his statistics are correct, which I will say that they are, because, well, I mean, no one told him that they weren't whenever he was speaking a lot of times. And if they were, you didn't hear that part.
Right.
So I never really found myself watching a lot. Every now and then I would watch to see if there was something different. If it popped up or if someone shared a post of his and I'm like, all right, what is it? And then I'd see it and it'd have my attention and I'm like, it's rinse, repeat. Like it's rinse, repeat. Like it's not changing the world. Like he's not doing anything with this great voice of his from the social media clips that are being shared.
Well, I think that age group, the 30, and maybe a little older, and maybe really the older age group, my generation also agreed with a lot of stuff because, or he's talking about women should think about being a wife first before becoming career-minded. Which is, really against a bunch of the women's rights and liberal views.
Yeah, I don't see comments like that. I don't even know what the goal of that would be. Like, I don't know. Does he firmly believe that? Or is that strictly let me provoke emotion with this comment. Someone will come up here to argue with me. When they come up here to argue with me, I will throw data and statistics. They will speak from emotion, and I will have another 5 million clip or 5 million hit clip to post on the internet.
I'm not sure. I never thought about it that way. It was more for me was more in the things that he was saying.
Someone like him, and I say like him in a general term of someone who is going to put themselves out there to strictly have eyes on themselves. Like that's what he did. He went on a college campus strictly to have eyes on himself. Yes, to debate, to show that the conservatives can have a voice, on a college campus. Ultimately, it was, let me show you how smart I am, and look at me. And how is that any different than the Instagram model showing her ass?
Well,
but
I understand what you're saying. It could
bring the same joy. Yes, to talk to you about a new pre-workout, relatively new to the market, new to myself as well, but it's getting the job done. It's not loaded with caffeine like a lot of the other pre-workouts. So if that's what you're looking for, then this probably isn't the product. But it is based in nootropics, which actually helps brain function. So if you've ever deep dove into that, this is part of what that product has right here. Going to get you ready for the workout. I'm a 5 a.m.er. Like I said, I need it. A lot of flavors. Hit the link in the description. It'll take you to the website. You'll get a new dad order discount. Pick your flavor. Bunch of other products as well. They have canned energy drinks. So thanks for listening. Check out Dubby and get that workout. He solidified the left just as much as he solidified the right, meaning that he divided so much whenever he spoke that he wasn't converting liberals on a college campus over to conservatism.
Not at all.
Like that wasn't happening.
It wasn't going to happen the way he did what he did.
No, because that's not his. That wasn't his intent. I think the way that he first started out was an intent to educate about the views of the conservative side that a liberal should be able to reasonably see why his opinion is not absurd. That's where I think he started.
Yeah. Okay.
It evolved into what will get the most views on the internet.
Well, and I think it also,
and he was backed by so many political people too.
So many.
Trump fell in love with them, and that was in the 2016 election. And then they had a lot of, they had politicians that would hire him to speak at events, and now you've got to go all in if you're him. So even if you started off where like you're a moderate conservative, I'm not saying that's what he was, but just for the sake of it, if you're a moderate conservative and then all of a sudden you establish this platform that draws in more, well, your goal is to pull people who are moderate and moderate to the left over to your side to see what you're doing and why you're doing it and making reasonable sense. But then once you find your base and it's the hardcore right, well, then you just start going in on that because that's the easy one. You just speak in an echo chamber. And it's very easy to get views and clicks. And ultimately, I think that's all he was about for his content on the internet. It was strictly about just getting a view.
Well, I mean, when you put it that way, yeah. And I think that's what he wanted too. I think he wanted those views because I think he also had a podcast.
I'm sure he did. Everybody does.
Right. Even we do. I think he had a podcast, and I think that he wanted to do what he did because like you said, it changed as he was going up, and that would lead them hopefully to his podcast and I guess he also started a company. Yeah,
but I don't know. I don't. I mean, I think we kind of reached the end of it. Basically, my opinion of him is that what he started out to be and the way he ended up was not necessarily the goal of what he was trying to do.
Or where you thought he was going.
Where I thought he was
going.
Yeah. Or what I thought he could have brought to the table.
Mm-hmm.
If I would have been a college student who I am very much in the middle on my political beliefs, very much. I could see the reasoning from both sides, but whenever I get too far away from the middle, I think they're all freaking crazy. I just do. I struggle to buy a football jersey with another man's name on it. I can't put his sticker on my car.
Oh, yeah, of course not.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I'll get a jersey with a man's name on it, depending on who it is and what they've done for that organization. But that's right? Like a Breeze jersey. Yeah, you can always wear a Breeze jersey.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But that's just what I'm saying. Like my standpoint. You know, it's just like, all right, yeah, like cheering for people because of the way they believe is not the way that our country was supposed to be run. I don't think that was the vision of our founding fathers, to cheer for your guy. But that's what it evolved into. To pick a side and blindly agree with that side.
Wow. Yeah, see, you have a way of looking at things. Of course, you've got me now to look at it that way. I didn't look at it that way. I was really in the weeds. Like he's just beating these people up, and they keep coming, and they keep coming.
Yeah, that's not the way I saw him.
And I think that's what a lot of people see, and that's why he had all those crowds out there.
Yeah,
because he kept beating people up.
Yeah, you went to see somebody getting bit. Oh man, he's about to make this dude look like an idiot.
Right,
and he did, and he did it in this clip, and then the next clip, and 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 it's like, okay, like we get it, like that's it. Cool. Yep. That's you're a one trick pony.
That's his thing, and I think a lot of the stuff he said, when you back it with just numbers and you're not looking at the emotional side of it, it gets people to go, well, he's racist.
Yeah, because it's easy to call somebody that. Because whenever you don't have, when you can't combat his statistic, I've got to do something that discredits you. So I'm just going to call you the one thing that you can't decide if you are or you are not. And I'm just going to call you racist. Yeah. So, and that is, I mean, I heard that a long time ago where someone said, I'm not a racist. And then someone said, you don't get to decide that. That's the opinion left for other people.
That's correct. Unfortunately, that is correct.
It really is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, no one gets to decide if they're, you can decide if you're healthy or unhealthy. That's a choice. But as far as, someone calling you a racist, like, oh, well, if that's the opinion of others, that's their opinion of you. Now, it may not be true, but nonetheless, it is an opinion.
Yeah.
But no, polarizing figures are never going to go away, and there's going to be another guy that comes along that will provoke just as much emotion as Charlie Kirk did. Another president that will provoke just as much, emotion as Donald Trump does now. And I think that's just the cycle that we're gonna live in.
It's just frustrating to hear these people talking about that. And how
to me that's
like, stop.
Yeah, that's the
all the hate is so much hate, like so much hate. I get disagreeing with him and not liking him because of what he's doing, and not liking that, but hating somebody and you don't even know the person.
Yeah, he's not
the hate part. Really just.
I don't understand.
Kills me.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't think anybody does. No one from either side. But to somebody's death, that's pretty messed up.
Not even that. So I saw some reels where people were dancing.
Yeah, like that's
like you got to be kidding me.
I don't. Like I said, what gets me about, like, if you saw that, and I'm sitting here saying that, like, I don't think he's important enough for people to hate him that much. Like, I don't think he did enough to where he should be celebrated or killed. He was a guy on the internet. Eventually, that's what he became. The guy who went to college campuses, who did the college tour. Campus Clash. That was the name of it. He went on a tour in 2017 called the Campus Clash. So he would do these little pop-ups from time to time on college campuses. It started to get views. It started to get clicks. It started to gain momentum. Charlie Kirk's coming to our campus. Boom. What do? You set up a whole tour and you name the damn thing the Campus Clash Tour. So, I mean, he promoted capitalism. I know that. Well, there you go. It's at its finest. I'm sure he had T-shirts made and all, which is fine. Like, I don't even have a problem with that. I just have a problem with the fact that let's not forget what he was doing and ultimately what was shared on Facebook. It wasn't It wasn't his overall goal. It wasn't the TPUSA is his organization. That's not what was talked about on the internet in my social media feed when people shared something. It was strictly Charlie Kirk destroys another liberal college student. Charlie Kirk destroys this college professor at a liberal university.
Yes.
That's what was shared.
Yes.
His ultimate goal was not to destroy liberals. It's just what he became known for. And I think that the essence of what he started to do when he was 18 years old, that's what someone needs to build upon from the memory of Charlie Kirk. His Christian conservative values, if you agree with those are the things that should be carried on. Debating college kids that you are way smarter than doesn't prove anything to me. Yeah.
I just knew about him recently.
Yeah, I don't think that there was, I mean, for me, there's nothing to debate, because his statistics about black on black crime, his statistics about mental health and, gender identity, there's nothing, like, I'm not going to have an opinion that is so polarizing from what you have on a topic like that. From one perspective, I'm not an expert on it.
Mm-hmm.
And two, if you have such a strong opinion of that, well then, okay, what you got? All right, let me know why you got that opinion. Where did you get that opinion from? Okay, well, you just got statistics for, okay. Well, I mean, that's fine. Like, I'm not going to debate your statistics. You did the research. You got those numbers. I'll store that in my head and I'll listen. I'm way too observant to be too emotional when it comes to something.
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
I would rather listen to the really smart people have a debate and speak on both sides than plant my flag on one side or the other. And I know that may seem, I don't know if it seems like a cop out or not. I don't know like why you have to pick one side or the other, but I don't. I never really have. There are certain things where I will have, I'm not saying I don't have a strong opinion about certain things. Yes, I have strong opinions about certain things, but it's thought out. It's not, but yep. So in the end, social media is what made him famous. Social media is ultimately the spot that, claimed his life, and it's tragic and it's sad and it is an attack on freedom of speech. I firmly do believe that, because someone who didn't agree with him for his political beliefs, and that's what freedom of speech is. It's the ability to speak your mind against the government and not be persecuted for it. And it looks like not everybody agrees with that to this day, and it's a really sad moment. I think people need to be cautious of the way they consume things and the opinions, and not regurgitate everything that they hear. I think everybody's guilty of it at times. When you hear something and it sounds very profound, passing it off as an original thought. I think Charlie Kirk did that for a lot of people, like kind of Joe Rogan does for the bro science community as well. And not everything is good, not everything is bad. Unfortunately, having an opinion that goes down the middle is not something that's valued nowadays. It seems as though you have to be one side or the other. Fortunate for those. It's going to be hard to pin me into one of those sides, because it's not the way my brain works. I'll try to see the angles. This one right here, like I said, wasn't really a fan of Charlie Kirk. Didn't really have a strong opinion of him on either way. I saw him as a guy on the internet more than a guy who was actually doing things the way he first sought out to do them. But nope. Yeah, I think that's it. We appreciate everybody for joining us. Drop a comment below. Let us know if we should be waterboarded for these thoughts or not. But hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And until next time, we'll see you on
New Dad Order.